in studio.
That's right, Sam. A hot issue indeed. We heard the CS Courier saying the figures were not credible. The pollsters are here to give immediate feedback to that. Angela, in your poll, it showed 89% of at least the respondents felt high cost of living was the reason why the country was going in the wrong direction. How do we dig deeper into those numbers? Why the cost of living now?
Thank you, Victoria. We have asked the question over, the last couple of months just to understand, to contextualize what Kenyans mean by high cost of living. The first thing that has been mentioned is, basic essentials, the ones that have been discussed at great length in the various studios. So food, shelter, housing, and other necessities like food. Generally, in essence, when you talk to Kenyans, and one of the questions we normally discuss in our focus group interviews is how much can 1,000 shillings buy you today vis-a-vis what it could buy you 2 or a year ago, which then links to inflation. And we would be fooling ourselves to say that the 1,000 shilling today can buy you the same as you would buy before. And I saw someone in the studio earlier giving an interview to a gentleman who was in a supermarket who said that he had a small paper bag. And he said, can you imagine, I have actually spent 6,000. And this is all I'm carrying. So that is really what Kenyans are talking about. The other thing that obviously is critical when they, Kenyans talk about cost of living is essential services, the cost of healthcare, which is, affordable, and I see the CS is there. Quality healthcare is critical for all Kenyans. Is that the case right now? Could it be better? What are the comparative costs? But in essence, it behooves on us to say to our policymakers that the citizenry feels that that cost is hinging on them uncomfortably. Education, you yourselves have reported kids being sent back home from public schools just when schools open because they had to, due to lack of capitation, they had to actually fork out fees that hitherto they were not doing. So that then is one of the reasons why they say the costs are higher. Transport, I think, was mentioned by somebody else, in one of the studios in terms of just the cost of, I think it was Sam, actually. But then the cost of energy. How much does 1,000 shilling token give you today, accrue you today, vis-a-vis what it was accruing you last year? I will tell you that 1,000 shillings used to accrue 64 units, and today it accrues about 34. Is that high cost? Yes. These are the things that people are talking about. And indeed, I heard some of our, focus group respondents saying when they got their paycheck this time, especially those who are, formally employed, and they looked at the tax, they joked and said, it is so high that you have to give away 34% of your salary thereof, and then you have to give 10% of your gross as tithe.
To God, right?
To God.
Let me bring Tom in really quickly here, because you did a similar poll back in June, basically asking Kenyans whether they